Tears of a Witch, Lauren Lake and her bogus paternity court. Now, I'm a fan of the paternity court. I love watching the paternity court because it reveals the infidelity of a lot of black females. Throughout time, black men have always been labeled as a dog. We've always been labeled as being cheaters and unfaithful and not, as they say, stepping up to the plate to take care of our children. But in this day and time, many females, black or white, is being exposed and for who they really are, for being cheaters, for being infidelity, and all of this other nonsense that go on that's hidden mainly because of the fact that they are women. Or in many terms, I refer to them as females. Now, Lauren Lake, I was in love with Lauren Lake. Had a crush on that woman. I remember back when she made her debut, and if I'm not mistaken, it was on the Ricky Lake Show. And even on Facebook, I'm friends with her on Facebook. But as time went on, it appears that Lauren Lake has changed, or maybe she's always been that way, but we just really hadn't seen it. She appears to be damaged good, because much of what's said in her courtroom and much of what's been done in her courtroom is unjust and unfair. And you can see it's one-sided when it comes to men, primarily black men. Even when it's clear evidence that the female is a cheater and unfaithful, she justifies it by the fact that she's a woman and she understands what she's feeling or what she's going through. But when the man cheats, you can hear in her voice her scolding him, and her attitude changes. And you can see that something happened in her life that makes her despise black men. Now, I'm not sure if she's married or she's in a relationship. If I'm not mistaken, she have children or a child. She herself might be a single parent mom. I'm not sure. I don't know the facts on that. But something happened where she is damaged good. She's scorned. And she is also a feminist. Now, after watching Paternity Test for a while, I've come to the conclusion that it's a fraud, that it's bogus. I'm not saying the paternity test as a whole. I'm just saying the show, the paternity court, is bogus. And I think this is a way where they're showing favor toward the cheating female, and they're trapping the man with a child that's not his own. That's their way, in their own way, of putting families together so that children will grow up knowing or believing that the man that raised them is their father. And there's a lot of people that believe that because of the fact that it's under the title of paternity court and she opens an envelope and it's got a bunch of numbers on it, that it's the truth. But who's to say, because of the fact this is Hollywood or part of Hollywood or entertainment, who's to say that this is not something that they put together, numbers they put together to make it appear that the guy is the father when in reality he's not the father. Now, there's a few cases that happen where both parents were dark skinned, but the baby came out white. And there's this one scene where the mother looked like she was probably Hispanic or Puerto Rican or Latina, and the brother was dark skinned. But the baby came out white, even to the point where the doctor, his family members and friends, even his co-workers, kept asking him, "Are you sure that's your baby?" Now, I'm going to let you listen to a portion of that, and then you tell me what you think. Check this out.
The baby's white.
So until you were in the delivery room, you had no doubts about Ms. Beto. You didn't feel like she was cheating.
I didn't have any doubts until the doctor said something. When we brought Ileana home from the hospital, we had friends and family come over to see the baby, then looking at the baby like, "Oh, she's beautiful, she's beautiful. Is she yours?"
That's not what they said, Your Honor. What they were saying, maybe on his side, but my side, they did make some comments. But of course, I defended. That's my daughter, you know?
Yep.
So I see him all the time in her. I see a little bit of my features, but mostly I see him.
Your Honor, maybe 2 weeks when Ileana came home, the same boss that we work for, we both work for him, he came to the house and brought a stroller to the home as a gift. And he's from Alabama, he's country guy, But he looked at the baby, and he's like, "Rico, is this baby yours?" I look at him like, "What you mean?" He says, "This baby's whack." So I'm like, wow.
So now the doctor, your family members, and your boss are all just openly asking you.
Yeah, is this baby mine? Even when I go to the grocery store, Your Honor, when I go to the grocery store, they're looking at me, "Oh, it's a beautiful baby. She's gorgeous. Is she yours?" And it's only because she's skin color, the blue eyes, it's like, wow. But
how come nobody say that when I'm around?
Even still, this has like happened before in my life. This situation here is like, when I was young, I was dating a stripper, and she had a baby. All right, she disappeared. What reason, I don't know. But when she finally came back, we figured out that baby wasn't mine. Got my name off the birth certificate, finally. Second time this has happened in my life, a young lady got pregnant, but come to find out, she was dealing with somebody that I knew. She didn't know we knew each other. She got pregnant, we talked, me and the guy, we talked, and we trying to find out what's going on. She had abortion immediately because she didn't know who the father was. And the third time was when I came on the court to find out the DNA test from Micah and found out he wasn't mine. So it's like I have strong reason to get the DNA test to figure out what's going on.
So in your lifetime, 3 times,
yes, ma'am,
someone has claimed you're the father of their child.
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't.
I wasn't.
And now you're here again.
So you guys clearly see, man, that this guy had a history of females pinning children on him that's not even his. Now, I'm going to let you listen to another clip, too. And this one, where this female was in a 6-year-long affair while she was in a 12-year marriage, right? Now, I want you guys to listen to what's going on here, because she's going to justify her cheating, all right, or her breaking up with him, and watch the reaction of those in the background. Check this out.
I won't be there like
but
that.
That's not why I broke up with you.
But I will
Why
always
did you break up?
Yeah, I would love.
I did it for myself. I did it because I need to learn how to love myself more instead of trying to build a relationship with somebody and I'm not loving myself. I'm loving you more than I'm loving me. Like, that's not right. I need to build myself up. Mm-hmm. So that's why I broke up with him. It wasn't because of, I wanted to be with somebody else. Like, I just feel like I need to get myself together and my life together for my son.
Understandable.
Now, Judge says understandable. But if there had been a man that cheated and he felt that he needed to love himself more, he had to love himself more, and so what he did is he decided to break up with the chick, go out and cheat on her. He still would have been labeled or considered to be a dog or a cheater. He would have been made to look like the bad guy. But this female goes out, sleep with some other guy, had a 6-year-long relationship or affair. While in a 12-year marriage, she gets pregnant. Now she don't know who that baby's father is. But yet, the audience applauds her. Because now, as a woman, she has to learn to love herself. But what if that man needed to love himself? And then Lauren Lake says, understandable. Well, is it understandable? Would you have said that to a man if he had went out and cheated on this woman? See, you have females that think that they can do what men do. And of course you can. If that man cheats, there's women that feel they need to get revenge by going out there cheating as well. But then they'll end up with the baby and not knowing who their father is. Now, a lot of people that come through paternity court, they stand up there and they say, I never had a chance to know who my father is. I don't know who my father is. Both male and female have said that I didn't grow up with my father. It's not because of that man or because the father's not there. It's solely because of the fact that many of these females are out there sleeping around. They're unfaithful. They're getting pregnant and they don't know who the child is, or they're picking and choosing who they want their children's father to be. Now, the reason I titled this Tears of a Witch, because I noticed a lot of the cases that come on paternity court where the female was unfaithful and she was sleeping around with multiple guys. She knows she was caught, but what she does is she start crying. Them tears begin to start flowing. And what those witch tears do is that it makes the guy feel bad because he thinks he's hurting the feelings of a woman. And then he's gaining the sympathy from the majority women audience and the female judge. So they sympathize with her. So she's using that witchcraft, and then many times when these females start crying, then the guy breaks down and say, I'm still going to be there. And even after he finds out that's not his child, that witchcraft that she worked on him, the tears, the emotions, that feminist mindset about how I need to work on myself, I need to love myself, you don't understand, you're not a woman, and I'm going through this and I'm going through that, and I'm trying to raise other kids, and I just want to know, I want my child to grow up with a father, but yet you're trying to pin a baby on someone else. The people sympathize with you because of the fact that you're a woman. That's that witchcraft that they're working. So now the system, or better yet, the paternity court, decides to work hand in hand with this female that was unfaithful, that in many cases lie in the courtroom. The judge would ask her over and over again, do you know who the father of your children is? And she will lie and say no. The minute it comes back that it's not his, then the judge asks her, do you know who that child's father is? She says yes. But in several times beforehand, she denies it and says she don't know, that he's the only one. And nothing happens to her. That's the witchcraft that's being worked on men. So now we find where these men are so bent on paternity courts or paternity tests now, that where now you have this paternity court is now producing alleged evidence or paternity tests that this man is the biological father to keep them together. Although that child may not be his, because there's many cases I've watched where I said that is not that man's baby. These tests have to be bogus. Especially when you have a female that's in a 6-year affair with another man, and she sleeps with this man that she's in an affair with for 6 years. She sleeps with him more than she sleeps with her husband, but yet she gets pregnant while cheating, and it's the husband's baby. That's all a ploy to keep that family together. And the court always say they look out for the best interest of that child. So if there's a bondage already between that man and that child, although that child may not be his, they're going to produce some type of fake evidence to make that man the father of that child and responsible for that child. Because in many cases, especially if these dudes take this female's word and sign the birth certificate, legally, he's still obligated, even if it's proven that he's not the father, he's still legally obligated to support that child. And even if his name is not on that birth certificate, and he's the only father that child knows, and he find out later that the child is not his, he's still legally obligated to support that child, although he was deceived, although she lied in court. He's still obligated to support that child because it's for the best interest of the child, and he's the only father that child knows. So then the female gets away scot-free, and the real baby daddy gets away with it because maybe he was locked up, or maybe because he wanted nothing to do with the child, or maybe because she didn't think that he would make a good dad, so she was going to pin the child, or she pinned the child on someone else. So that's where that witchcraft is being worked on men, to the point where even now the system is involved, or this paternity court that you have a black woman sitting on, and you can't say it's racist because of the fact that there's a black woman there. And she's now being the messenger. She's the one that's handing out, okay, you're now the baby. We're going to make you the biological father, although proof proves that you're not the father. And that female walks away. All she have to do is cry. Just show those crocodile tears, and that witchcraft begin to start working. So when you have doctors, friends, families, everybody's recognizing that's not your child, and then you go to paternity court, and then it's announced that you're the father, now everybody's looking like, what? And they made to look like the liars. And now this guy is now obligated to take care of another man's baby for the rest of his life. Right? So paternity court is a trap for men to keep them in bondage. That's a modern day slavery for men. Making them financially, emotionally, spiritually, on every level obligated to support another man's baby. So this case is where guys, she came out and said, oh, you're not the father. He did his little victory dance. She scolded him for celebrating. And then she started, if you weren't out there cheating, and if you weren't doing this, and your hands ain't clean, and you're doing this. And so now she started scolding him because he's got a right to celebrate, because now he's not stuck supporting somebody else's baby, and he's celebrating, and now the judge is angry and upset, and the female is standing over there looking like a lamb, like she's innocent, proving that she was unfaithful. And not one time in the judge is favoring her, saying, I want to talk to you later on because, now I want to give you some womanly advice, something that will help you throughout your life, because I understand as a woman. Right? And because of the fact that this female said that she was just trying to love herself, that justifies her breaking up with this guy to go sleep with somebody else. And now they're in paternity court because she don't know who the baby belongs to, because she's sleeping with both men. She's playing both sides. So that's the tears of a witch. And the paternity court is bogus. It's a bogus and it's a trap. Lauren Lake is still cute. She's still fine. But paternity court is bogus, and many of these results are not real. I strongly believe that. I believe it's a trap for men to keep man in paternity court bondage, child support bondage. You have females that would get on there and celebrate after she declares you are the child's father. She starts celebrating and singing her little victory dance, saying child support. We going to child support. Nothing about you being the father of the child and being in the child's life. Her only concern is child support. I'm taking you to child support. And Judge Lauren says nothing to her. She don't say anything. But if that man, if she come back and say you're not the dad, and that dude says, yes, I knew it, she tells him, don't be clowning in my court. I don't tolerate that here. See? So there's a double standard when it comes to Lauren Lake's court, paternity court. And I strongly don't believe that many of the results that come forward are real. I really don't believe they're real. So feedback, tell me what you think. And listen, click on the link, check out my t-shirts and my hoodies on the bottom. The link is on the bottom. If you feel like you want to support the channel, click on the PayPal link or go to my Patreon. Also subscribe to I'm Just Thinking Out Loud and Mood Decontrol. And also I'm on Fearless J 1111. Fearless J 1111 on YouTube. Until next time, I'm fearless.